Again.
Again. This is our third.
So what are you guys slurping now?
This is our third attempt to go live, so I promise that I will get a faster internet connection. I promise. This was silly.
We'll be okay.
So thank you for all who are here. Fred, would you mind just come behind the camera real quick? And Julie's sort of like not in the shot.
Oh no, I'll just get really close and friendly.
Oh, there we go. Now we have Julie. Perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, so let's just get Julie. What's in your cup?
Oh, I'm drinking this morning and I'm going to try to say this correctly, is Bambarakeli Estate. It's a single estate tea. It's a nice black tea. I would show you. But hey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Let us know who you are. I think it might be my husband, so thank you.
I've got to get you on Facebook, Fred, so you can like us.
So there we go. So I am drinking this nice single estate tea, and I will slurp. It is a nice, brisk, almost a kind of like a dried fruit flavor to me. It's wonderful. Try it.
Milk or without milk?
I am drinking it without milk.
So is Solanti. Do you feel your palate dry from that?
A little bit. I've got that kind of that fuzzy mouth, just a tiny bit. I really don't like astringency, so I tend not to drink a lot of Ceylon teas or Sri Lankan teas. But I need a little something crisp this morning. So, what are you drinking?
Well, just back on your Ceylon tea,
Yeah.
if you don't like that strong astringency, two things can help you. Brew your tea at a little cooler temperature, it's about 195 degrees, or just put in a tiniest little dollop of honey.
Oh, that
It'll
makes
smooth
sense.
it right out.
Smooth. We like smooth.
You like smooth?
Definitely.
I'm actually drinking something really smooth today, and today's a special day here at Tea-Lula. It's our third, it's called Brew with the Blue, and it's when we invite the Park Ridge police officers to come in and do a little community networking with customers, and people will stop in to share with the police what their concerns are in the community, and it's just a great way to get to know. This is the best way to get to know who the police officers are. You don't want to know the police officers' names from bringing your child home on the weekends. It's better to meet them this way than that way. Just saying. Not that I have any experience with that, but
Although they're pretty good at doing that.
yeah, they can bring them. They'll bring them home. They'll bring those little utes home. Yeah. So I'm drinking a tea today called Smoking Gun, and it was actually one that one of the lieutenants, who's now a commander, was drinking many years ago when we first opened, and it's a blend of Earl Grey and Lapsang Souchong, which is a very smoked Chinese black tea. So I'm going to do my slurp.
Okay. Whoops, sorry.
So what you get with that slurp is you get the palate really does pick up a lot of that pine smokiness from the Lapsang Souchong, and then you have the nice hint of the Earl Grey. So, and also this is a great label. It's a tea called Smoking Gun. I'm sorry that it's mirrored, but I'm going to read this. It says, as I extend my arm further.
Readers.
I know.
Sorry.
So I know. A tea of great mystery. The only crime is that we didn't blend it sooner. Find out what happens when Sherlock Holmes' favorite Lapsang Souchong trespasses into classic English Earl Grey. An empty cup will be the only evidence left for the lieutenant to find.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Great name. I didn't write that, though. A former colleague wrote that, and he was brilliant, and that is great. And it was actually written for the lieutenant at the time, who this was his favorite, and he named it with his family. And now it's on the shelf, and it's a wonderful tea.
I love it. I mean, I love that smokiness, and sometimes people aren't really into that, but I think it really lends a lot to it's a different flavor.
And it's just a nice character to it. You might need a little toothbrush when you're done.
Yeah, that's true.
So, do we want to give a quick little update before we invite Officer Dorn to join us?
Yeah, definitely. We'll go back. We do have a question. It's when will the summer lineup return?
Well, it never went away. It was always available.
We can brew any tea.
Any tea, anytime. But it's coming back. The first day of spring is next week, and it will be back next week. So we'll have our whole iced tea menu available. But actually, it's available anytime. The only difference between then and now is that we will get ready for the demand for the summer iced teas, and we'll pre-brew in like gallons.
Right.
A lot of the iced tea, and that will it'll be faster.
And
so
then we come up with a nice menu, and
right.
you know, we try to sample a lot of different flavors. Maybe try to have a new one
I have a new one. In fact, I think we were last time we asked for like a name for our blueberry fruit tisane that we put fresh lemonade in and a shot of matcha. We need a name for that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like Smurf some. I don't know. You all think of it and let us know.
Well, let's talk about our next door construction. A little update from Sheila and Fred.
I have nothing to say.
The update is no update.
No updates, no update. We're hoping a couple more. I mean, every week until it's like having a baby. So you just kind of it's cooking, and you just have like this week. You just have to, you know, the doctor just said make an appointment for 1 more week. And if you've ever had kids, you know, like no, not 1 more week. But now we have to like wait 1 more week, maybe 2.
Well,
so
like the floors are in.
Right. We got our
have
beautiful
walls.
fridge. We have an ice maker.
Yeah.
Right now I see the UPS man's delivering all kinds of stuff.
We love it.
We're ordering some new products, tables and chairs. Oh golly, just stay tuned, and it's going to be beautiful. But it's well, I think I said this last week. It's like a perfect cup of tea. You have to weigh out the right amount of tea. You have to use the proper temperature of the water. You have to steep it for the appropriate time, and then when it's all done, your patience has been rewarded for a beautiful cup of tea. And that's how I'm getting through this construction.
There it is.
I'm just going to be patient.
It's going to be beautiful.
And it's going to be a beautiful new space.
Well, before we go on, thank you for those of you joining us. If you could give us a like, a shout out, so we know who is joining us.
Little heart. I like
oh
the
my
little
God,
heart.
Paige.
Paige,
is that you?
She used to work for us. We love you, Paige.
Thank you for joining us. I hope
Paige
you're
to
drinking.
stop by. I have something for her.
Oh, Paige, by the way, Fred says stop by. He got you a little present when he was,
Someplace.
again, awkward.
So thank you for those of you joining us. And we'll introduce.
Oh, and so now
you.
for our Brew with the Blue, I'd like to introduce everyone to Officer John Doran.
Yay.
Come join us.
Yay. You're our very first guest.
Our
Thank
very
you.
first
Hi,
guest.
everybody.
This is
Thank you.
Officer Doran, and tell us a little bit about your Brew with the Blue campaign.
Brew with the Blue, we do coffee with the cops, but obviously this is TeaLula, so I'm a fan of Tea-Lula, a huge fan.
Oh, poor.
And I thought that coffee shouldn't be the only one that we use, so I thought Tea-Lula should be one of the spots that I'm going to use instead of going to Dunkin' or Starbucks or something like that. So, fan of the tea.
One of those. Although
Right,
we
one
like
of
the
those.
sister beverage, we're all about that. So I was mentioning to Officer Dorner earlier that in Park Ridge there's this group on Facebook called the Park Ridge Virtual Chatter, and I visited every once in a while. And I noticed on the chatter the last couple of weeks that, and especially last night, that some of the residents in Park Ridge have really gotten upset about the youth in Park Ridge. I think they mentioned some middle schoolers that are going to Panera and McDonald's, and they're large groups, they're very loud, and they're using really inappropriate language. And the question on the group was, what do you do about that? And some were saying you should call the police, and others were saying, well, don't call the police, that's not good use of resources. So we're going to ask Officer Dorner, what do you want us to do about the youth?
Well, the Uptown youth, there's a concern by the police department with Uptown youth and things that are going on. If you felt there was a need for the police to respond to a situation, that's what we're there to respond, whether that be a business owner or a citizen of Park Ridge or somebody coming outside of Park Ridge. The police are there to respond. As far as in regards to the youth and the way they are acting, it's a concern with the police department. I know that we had a meeting just yesterday in regards to some things that we are going to try to accomplish. I know I'm working with Lincoln School, Roosevelt, and a couple other schools in regards to doing a video. I think 98% of the kids that we run into are all great kids.
They're good kids.
But I think when they're put in a situation where they're with their friends, they may not act like they would act like with their parent being present. So I think that the video that I'm trying to come up with and present at these schools would be a reminder of kids when they're out in public just to remember to be courteous, respectful, and things of that nature. That's not going to solve all our problems.
No.
Because things like the Hinckley incident from a few years ago, and we recently had something uptown with a hate crime, those are incidents that we're concerned about, but I believe they're isolated incidents. And I think if kids are reminded that if they can be courteous and respectful, that goes a long way, because it puts the onus on not only the police department, but on parents themselves to remind their kids when they're out in the public, they're an extension of themselves. I have 3 kids of myself, and I always try to remind them that, remember, even though I'm not around, you're still an extension of me,
Right.
and it reflects on me. And if parents reminded their kids of that, I think it would go a long way.
So the other thing I heard some parents talking about doing on the Chatterbox was, should they videotape these youth and put them on Facebook so that their parents can see what they're doing? And I felt really uncomfortable about public shaming kids, but the worry is that oftentimes parents won't believe that their children are, using really bad language or just being rowdy in a place. They're just being kids. So I was uncomfortable with that.
I actually think with technology nowadays, especially being a police officer, you see videos all the time. Some obviously aren't the best in favor of policemen, but you can be recorded at any point in time. In fact, the recent case that we had with the hate crime, it was because of cameras we were able to solve that crime. The business owner uptown had cameras installed. We were able to get the pictures. We were able to identify kids. So when there's something of that nature going on, and again, you could be in a situation where I don't feel comfortable recording, but you never know at what point you're going to record something that could be really good for the police department to use.
Right.
So if you feel like kids are just being overly aggressive and being rude, I don't think recording is out of the question.
What should we do with that recording? Should we post it on the Chatter page, or should we give it to you?
I mean, no one wants to post something on the Chatter page,
Right.
but I mean, it takes a village to raise a kid.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
right, yeah.
And so I always
And
remind.
we are your village people.
I always remind my
That's
kids
a
that
big fan.
if adult approaches you and reprimands you, take it, just like I was doing it. But there's a fine line with that. There's a lot of people who don't want their kids reprimanded by other people, or God forbid, you go and you don't want to touch the kid. So if you're put in a
Don't touch the
situation,
kids.
you don't want to touch the kid.
Right.
If you feel comfortable enough approaching a kid, and the way I feel is like if you're kind, if you're kind to them, kindness will be returned the majority of the time.
Right.
So if you go up and you get more bees with honey than you do vinegar. So if you go up to the kids and you kindly remind them that, can you please, I'm here with my young children, I don't want to hear that language, you would hope that
Right.
would be reciprocated. You don't want to go there being a stern adult or a parent and say, you shouldn't be doing this, because no kid in their teens probably they don't want to hear it from their parents, let alone some stranger.
Right, right.
But I feel like if you do it in kindness may be returned. And if it's not, I personally don't have a problem, because this is going to be my beat in the not too distant future, is that pick up the phone and call me. I will come and try
his
to
cell
do.
phone number is.
Yeah. We'll hold off on that one.
I think we have a new viewer. Is that John?
Hi,
Thank
John.
you for joining us.
Another question that we kind of see in the police blotter is there's a lot of burglaries going on, people's cars getting broken into. So what are the few quick tips you can tell people on? Okay, he doesn't need to tell you this. Lock your car. What's just lock your car?
When it definitely comes to car burglaries, if you lock your car,
Lock the
that's going to
car.
defeat it 99% of the time. Obviously, if you have things in your car, whether it be a laptop or a purse, you want to be cognizant of putting that in your trunk or just taking it inside the
cover
house.
it up, right?
As far as burglaries, home burglaries, I think the best thing you can do is obviously lock your doors and windows. I personally leave a radio on or TV on, even when I'm not home. Usually the radio, sometimes the TV, because it gives the visual feeling of somebody is home. So these burglars, if they're going into a house, now we just had one not too long ago where someone entered the house, didn't know somebody was home, and then ran out after they had the confrontation.
Not the smartest.
They're
one
not
in the bunch.
they're not trying to pick a house that there are people inside.
Right.
So if you have the visual aspect of someone's inside the house, and that's why I say a TV or radio, you hear voices, they're going to come knock on the door, and if they hear something, they're going to leave. So that's what I personally do.
Ring doorbell. That's what we have.
Well, we recently caught a set of burglars. Actually, Officer Moreland was involved
he just
in
came in,
regard.
so
He
you
just
can't
walked
see
in.
him, but he's
Officer,
here. Well done.
welcome.
And
Thank
catching
you.
2 juvenile burglars the other day, and I know the investigative unit of Park Ridge was able to clear another burglary case of some burglars that were caught in Chicago. So
That's
that's
really
going to
good.
stop it, because there's a bunch of crews, but we're working on it.
That's good. Well, we appreciate all of you and that you protect and serve us, and we're very grateful for you.
We appreciate you opening up your doors for us, and we love TeaLula.
Oh,
Before you
I'm gonna slurp.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that
no
okay?
slurp first, and then I
Right,
have a question
right.
as we close.
nice.
good slurp.
Good slurp.
Very smoky. Love smoking gun.
Smoking gun.
So, with the Brew in the Blue and Coffee with a Cop, have you seen kind of a nice growth in community relations? You know, since you've started doing this.
Yeah, I mean, Coffee with the Cop. Again, I'm a fan of this Brew with the Blue because I want to move it forward to where we bring stuff like this on board as far as getting people's input. Because going back to where it takes a village, you know, the problems that Park Ridge has, and we'll keep it on Uptown. It's not just a police problem. You know, this is one of these things where if I encounter a child uptown being rude, you know, that's somebody I as a parent, I would want to be contacted. If my child's rude to you, please let me know. And I think that's probably a way that the police will move forward in regards to this. But it takes a village. The issues with Uptown takes people from Chamber of Commerce and the citizens of Park Ridge and the police to work together to try to make Park Ridge a better place. We don't want people coming to Park Ridge where they're turned off because kids are rude.
They're just uncomfortable.
Right. And we're not here to be kid police. We want them to have fun. We want them to have a place to go hang out, but there's a way to do that.
Right.
Oh, very
And
good.
we get great kids here, actually.
We do.
They're all great. But she don't play. So if you're not behaving, we'll show you the door.
We love our youngins.
We love our
We
youths.
do.
They're great. But we set limits, too. And that's why I'm not afraid to go up and approach a rowdy youngster and tell them that they need to quiet down.
And we've had some rowdy adults.
Oh, and you know what?
That's
It's
it.
not just the
Right,
youngins using the naughty words.
You know, and it's, you know, yeah, exactly.
Let's all clean it up. Let's make a
comes down-
commitment to clean
Let's
it
be
up.
classy.
You know, let's be classy. Like, that is a smoldering pile of compost. Isn't that more interesting than the other thing?
You know, and we were all
Just
kids
saying.
at one point. So it's just like, what defines a child? You know, kids are make poor choices. And if it's rude language or doing something that isn't appropriate, 98% of the time you remind them that, hey, this isn't appropriate,
Right.
and they learn
They're
from their
good.
actions.
They step up.
So, I mean, I don't have a problem doing that. I don't think parents have a problem doing that. It's the minor 1 or 2% that those kids don't learn and they keep going back to the same issues.
For those of you just joining us, I know we have a few new viewers. We are here today with Officer Dorner. It is our Brew with the Blue event. We try to have this like a couple times a year. Maybe we'll have it more.
We were supposed to have it in the new space.
And when the new space opens, I'll be
Oh,
more than happy
big,
to come back
huge.
and
Yeah, no, we can't wait. Can't wait.
Now, anyone out there that's watching, John, Paige, anyone have, I hope it's one to John
I
and
know.
Paige.
Oh God. Well, no.
Okay, do either of you have a question or a concern that you would like input from our officer right now?
Yeah, just comment, or if you're watching this not live and you're going to watch this later tonight, feel free to email us.
Or leave a comment.
Yeah,
and we'll share it.
comment. You can text, tweet. We're on Twitter as well, as is the Park Ridge Police Department. Yeah, we are.
they could even call the station, ask for my voicemail, Officer Dorner, Dorner, and leave me a message. I'd be more than happy to return your call.
Yep.
Return your call when I get back.
No, we are all one big happy community. So
Community.
see.
So you can't. That doesn't work with the sister beverage, but we're more of a community,
We are a community.
where we have civility.
Cheers.
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 Thanks
Cheers,
for being
officer.
with us.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. It was just clinking. I don't know.
All right. So what else do we have, Julie?
All right. So tonight,
you, guys.
also
Thank
yes.
you. Let's have a round
Yeah.
of applause for our
Yay.
special guest, for our studio audience. Thank you. Thank you.
So tonight,
We're like a real TV
I
show.
know this is so crazy. So funny. Oh my god, I can't handle this. We have chai night today. It is our last chai night.
The last one.
Because it is spring next week, and so we try to have our chai, homemade chai. This is not just the beverage behind the bar. It is our special home brew. You can only find it here, and yeah, so please come. I'm so sorry to mention that our tea pairing with the Girl Scout cookie, which would have been tonight, was postponed, and as soon as we get a new date, we will also advertise
It's looking
that.
like April 4th, and just our Girl Scout has a soccer game tonight.
So good luck.
So good luck, Eileen.
Eileen.
Go big or go home.
Yay. We have, let's see, what else do we have? Lots of Groupons. If you have a class schedule, just know we are trying our best to get that next door done so we can get more people in for your classes.
That's right.
And I think lastly, unless you have other events.
No.
Sorry. Lastly, there's a question actually that's come up about electric kettles.
Oh, yes.
So what happened was, I don't know if this was very recent, but there was an article in the paper or online magazine, that Americans don't know what electric kettles are. Don't know what they are, don't use them. This was actually an Australian writer, I believe, who had tweeted out that, unbeknownst to her, that we don't have kettles or use them. And she was floored that we only microwave our water. That is not true. So we're here to talk to you a little bit about electric kettles.
Electric kettles. Okay, so
And thank you for joining us.
this is the Bonavita electric kettle available at Tea-Lula. That was my commercial voice. But see, this is the little stand that it goes on. So it goes like this. And you set the temperature to whatever tea that you need, and it boils your water in less than 90 seconds. It's also safer than using a microwave, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So, Julie, which one do you have?
I have the Bonavita gooseneck kettle. I own one of these, and I just, you know what, this sold it for me. The spout. I know a lot of people might not like it, but we have all sorts of different spouts. So we'll.
That just is a really nice direct pour, this spout, so that you can.
Here, I'm almost done with my tea.
So it's just a really nice direct pour, so that if you have like a white tea and you want to make sure you get all the leaves saturated, that's a really lovely kettle to use. So the little trick about the microwave, when you put your water in a ceramic cup and you put it in your microwave, the molecules of the water don't have anything to cling to. They slide up and down the side of this. So what happens is you don't get a rolling boil, and then when you put your tea, after you've heated it, you put something into it. Now the molecules have something to join to, and it erupts. I'll do that again.
Like that.
Free sound effects.
Okay.
So that's actually not so great. Now, if you insist on using a microwave and you want to do a black tea, put a wooden coffee stir in there, or a wooden chopstick, and let the molecules cling to something to get the roll. It's actually safer if you do it that way. It would take you, I know, but it would take you the same amount of time in your microwave as it would to put tea in your electric kettle and have it in 90 seconds. So this is a great way to go. So come on, Americans, get a kettle.
Yeah. Now, Sheila, I have a question. So the base that we're showing here is our variable temperature. So that means you can set the temperature. It actually comes with 4 different settings, I believe. And so if you are an avid tea drinker, you get all the temperatures that you need. And you can also set it to what you want. Does it come not as a variable temperature?
It does. So if you just drink black teas and herbals, or the sister beverage, and you do pour over, you can just get one that brings it right up to a boil.
Okay.
So you're talking 60, 90 seconds, you have your water ready to go. So,
and you don't need a different outlet. I mean, it's
no,
just, I don't know.
just your standard
Just
appliance. It's
not-
like plugging in your coffee maker or your blender
Your
or
microwave.
your microwave. So yeah, you don't need to run like a 220 line or anything.
There you go.
230, 240, whatever it takes.
220.
Okay, that's a Mr. Mom reference. If you don't know the movie, we're old.
I love that
I'm old.
movie. So that's really it. If you have any questions, again, we're here to answer your tea questions, beverages, accessories, anything like that. But we love our Bonavita kettles.
These kind of accessories, not these.
Oh, but we love those too.
Again, thank you to the Park Ridge Police Department for being here today. We appreciate you coming in.
Yay.
And we will see you all next Thursday for... No,
Wait a minute.
I won't be here next Thursday.
No, you won't.
You
Where
know
will
why?
you be?
I'm going to babysit the new baby.
Well, maybe I'll still be here.
So Julie, she needs a guest host. So if
Ooh,
anyone wants to come... Paige!
Come on in.
We need a guest host. So next Thursday, I won't be here because I'm going to be babysitting sweet new 2-week-old Eleanor. But Julie will be here, so come back for
Maybe we'll have Tom.
tea and chat.
Tom's our producer.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
this
it's
person.
it's like Kelly, and what's his name?
Yeah.
What was
Because
his
they
name?
only have a
Yeah.
what's his name.
Used to be Regis, but it was
Yeah, so then it was
Michael
Regis and
Strahan.
oh, and then Kelly and Michael, and now it's just Kelly. So next week it's just Julie. So
It's
she
just
needs a
me.
guest host. So come on in.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, friends.
Good chat.
Good chat.
Good chat.
Good chat. All right, turn this thing off. How do we turn this off?